On this week's LA Diaries, let's take a break from the Sussexes. I don't care about their polo show. We're going to look at 5 wild things OJ Simpson did after the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. I used to live in Nicole's neighborhood on Bundy Drive, and these are my LA Diaries. Nicole Brown Simpson was a human Barbie doll and the ex-wife of former NFL player OJ Simpson. On June 12, 1994, the blonde was brutally murdered in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. Nicole and her friend Ronald Goldman were found stabbed to death outside of her home, so bloody that it was immediately identified as a crime of passion. Her physically abusive ex-husband, OJ Simpson, was charged with the murders, and his trial lasted an excruciating 11 months. The trial, known as the O.J. Simpson murder case, or the trial of the century, captivated the nation's attention and shockingly and divisively ended with Simpson being acquitted of the murders in October of 1995. On Thursday, April 11th, OJ's official Twitter account tweeted, "On April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asks that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. The Simpson family." TMZ reports that it was prostate cancer that robbed OJ of his last breath at age 76. According to TMZ, word about OJ's cancer diagnosis first made the rounds in February when a local outlet reported it, although the details were hazy, as was OJ's response to the news at the time, when he denied he was in hospice but didn't address the cancer report. Reaction has been harsh. Caitlyn Jenner's good riddance, and Mark Lamont Hill insisting OJ is not a martyr. But at one point in time, he was America's golden boy. Before Nicole's murder, OJ had a wildly successful career as a professional football player, and later a highly celebrated sports commentator, and even an actor. OJ initially gained fame as a running back in the NFL. He played college football at the University of Southern California, winning the Heisman Trophy in 1968. As a professional football player, Simpson played for the Buffalo Bills from 1969 to 1977, and for the San Francisco 49ers in 1978 and 1979. He was one of the most dominant running backs of his era, earning numerous honors, including 5 Pro Bowl selections and the NFL MVP award in 1973. After retiring from football, Simpson pursued various ventures, but almost seamlessly transitioned into the entertainment world. He became an actor, appearing in films like The Towering Inferno and The Naked Gun. He also worked as a sports commentator for NBC and a commercial spokesperson for Hertz. Overall, OJ was a predominant figure in American sports and entertainment before the tragic events surrounding Nicole Brown Simpson's death changed the course of his life and career forever. And despite ultimately being acquitted, I believe that OJ Simpson resented that for the rest of his life. When OJ was found not guilty on October 3rd, 1995, the verdict sparked intense reaction and discussion across the world, but especially in the United States. The racial divide in reaction to the verdict was undeniable. Some people believed in Simpson's innocence and celebrated the verdict, while others were shocked, believing despite LAPD's shortcomings and, let's be honest, racism, OJ had gotten away with murder. Overall, the not guilty verdict had significant social, cultural, and legal implications, shaping public perception of justice and fueling ongoing discussions about race, privilege, and the legal system. Despite being acquitted in the criminal trial, OJ Simpson faced a civil lawsuit filed by the families of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. In February of 1997, a civil jury found Simpson liable for the wrongful deaths of Brown and Goldman and ordered him to pay $33.5 million in damages. So you're a free man, found innocent in a criminal murder trial. What's your next move? Surely you wouldn't write a book called If I Did It. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't host a practical joke show. No, that would be weird. Except, wait, that is exactly what he did. Here are 5 wild things OJ Simpson did after the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. At number 5, OJ Simpson spent the last few years being an armchair crime commentator. Apparently, he loved Vinnie Politan and court TV. Now, he didn't necessarily consider himself an expert in true crime, but that did not stop him from live tweeting his reaction to some of America's most compelling cases. After Alec Murdaugh's wife, Maggie Murdaugh, and their son, Paul Murdaugh, were both murdered, Alec was arrested on suspicion of their deaths. Maggie was found shot to death along with her son, Paul, at the family's hunting lodge in South Carolina on June 7th, 2021. As the jury went into deliberations, OJ went straight to Twitter. In a video, OJ said, and I'm paraphrasing, "I am not qualified to really say if the guy did it or didn't do it, but from what I've seen, do I think it's more likely that he did it? Yes, but more likely equals reasonable doubt. Wouldn't surprise me in the least if Murdaugh beats this." On March 2nd, 2023, after less than 3 hours of deliberation, the jury found Murdaugh guilty of 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Kind of bizarre to have somebody that was accused of murdering his wife commenting on someone else accused of murdering their wife. At number 4, Juiced was a hidden camera prank show hosted by OJ Simpson that aired in 2006. The show was produced and distributed by a pay-per-view network. On Juiced, Simpson would engage in various skits and scenarios while hidden cameras captured the reactions of unsuspecting participants. Think candid camera for criminals. The show aimed to be humorous and ironic, but was heavily criticized for being in poor taste given Simpson's history of, murder. Even the name was questionable. Originally, Simpson was referred to as Juice innocently because of his initials, orange juice. But after that infamous 2-hour car chase, that nickname took a whole new meaning. The juice is loose would stay with OJ forever. Obviously, Juiced was met with significant backlash from the public and media. Critics rightfully argued that it was insensitive to the families and the victims and disrespectful to the memory of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. Due to the backlash, the show aired only once and was not renewed for further episodes. But that wouldn't be the only attempt at comedy for Mr. OJ Simpson. At number 3, in a 1998 interview with the BBC's Ruby Wax, OJ was clearly frustrated with the persistent media coverage of the murder of his ex-wife, and he was tired of pleading his case. Wax boldly asks him, "Did you do it?" He annoyingly responds, "I did not do it. Nope, I did not." After the interview ended, the perpetual flirt invited Wax back to his hotel room for a surprise. As the door opened, a sinister Simpson appeared with a banana in his hand, pretending to stab Wax repeatedly. Friendly reminder that Nicole and Ron were stabbed a combined 32 times. Wax said in a confessional, "I think it was his idea of a joke." Months later, Ruby revealed that OJ called her on April 1st and acknowledged that he, in fact, did murder Nicole Brown Simpson, to immediately yell "April Fools" into the phone. At number 2, OJ Simpson's If I Did It was a shameless book that was originally scheduled for release in 2006. The book was framed as a hypothetical confession to the murders of Nicole and Ron. As you can understand, the book's title and content sparked intense public anger and legal battles. The project was eventually canceled by the original publisher, HarperCollins, in response to the public outcry. However, the rights to the book were later acquired by the Goldman family as part of a civil lawsuit against Simpson. They republished the book under the title If I Did It, Confessions of the Killer, with commentary by the Goldman family. At number 1, a disastrous interview set to accompany that book, scheduled to air as a 2-part special on Fox on November 27th and 29th, 2006. In this interview, OJ Simpson discussed the hypothetical scenario presented in his book, If I Did It. During the conversation, Simpson talked about the content of the book and discussed the murders from his perspective. He described how the events might have unfolded if he were the killer, using phrases like hypothetically speaking, however, flip-flops throughout the interview, and says things like, "I remember," and "I'm certain of." He also said, and you can't make this up, "Ron and Nicole were physically dead, and it was almost like they killed me. Who I was attacked and murdered also in that short period of time." Oh my gosh. Initially, Fox canceled the broadcast, but it was repackaged years later as a special titled OJ Simpson, The Lost Confession. The entire interview is truly bizarre and will give you the ick. The O.J. Simpson trial remains one of the most controversial and discussed criminal cases in American history. It raised questions about race, wealth, celebrity, and the criminal justice system. The verdict continues to be debated and analyzed by legal experts and people like you and me. So what's your take? Do you think O.J. Simpson will rest in peace? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'm Kinsey Schofield.